Welcome everyone to a very special episode of Good Teams Win, Great Teams Cover. We're leaving our usual topic of the NFL behind, and we've stopped our State of the Division series to have a look at some other things in life, and we're going to be conducting our very first Minor Inconveniences draft here at Good Teams Win, Great Teams Cover. So those little bits in life or insignificant things that happen that really kind of piss you off a little bit more than they should. And to complete that draft with me today, I've got four very, very special guests. But Byron, our co-host here at Good Teams and Great Teams Cover. We've got our resident pro wrestling expert, Rob Starling, returning for his first time back since the wrestlers draft. And then we've got Omar Fonseca and Scott Cobe coming back. They were part of our division series when we looked at the AFC West and AFC East. So, gentlemen, thank you ever so much for coming this afternoon. Before we get into it, Scott and Omar, Scott first, do you want to just shout out kind of where people can follow you and what shows and content you're kind of making at the minute?
My Twitter account is sjcobe1, although Twitter has been kind of limited lately, so by Elon Musk. So great, yeah. Let's Talk Sports is where you can find me. We just started a brand new show in the last month, the Let's Talk Sports show that's on Sunday mornings, Monday nights, and Thursday nights. So you can find me on there. You can find me on the Scott Cobe show on Let's Talk Sports. And you can find me on the baseball show on Let's Talk Sports. So I'm on Let's Talk Sports almost every day. So there's a program on that you'll probably see me. So
all day, every day.
All day, every day. Yes.
Good stuff. And Omar, you joined us for the AFC West preview. Where can the people find you? Yes, certainly. You had not some very nice things to say about the Las Vegas Raiders on our show, I recall.
Look, I am a realist. I'm an insider, but I'm also a fan. So I will never leave my team no matter how bad they suck, unless Tom Brady becomes the quarterback. Then I'm becoming a Cowboys fan.
Oh, no way. Come on.
Only because my dad is a Cowboys fan, so that would just be the next team. Anyways, enough about that. My name's Omar Fonseca. You can find me at Ball and Buds. That's BALLANDBUDS on YouTube, on all your podcast networks. Also do a bunch of shows for Let's Talk Sports. So tonight, Sunday night, I'm always now on The Bottom Line. I am their new third co-host. So The Bottom Line Sports at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on Let's Talk Sports. Shout out DDH, Let's Talk Sports, Sideline Sports Network. I'm glad to know Rob's a wrestling fan. I got my Chris Jericho COVID shirt on here. Cover your ass and shut your mouth, or whatever, that shut your ass. So, I love me some pro wrestling as well, and I'm really super excited for this draft. So, again, Ball and Buds, let's get it.
Oh, you're the first guest to bring their own sign on, so that's good. First guest that brought their own sign on. Cool, good stuff. Well, it's a pleasure to have you, Omar. Rob, while we're going around, anything particular you want to shout out to promote yourself while you're here?
No,
that's fine. We'll move on.
No, if anything, please do not find me.
Do not find you. Yeah. If anything, you really just wouldn't want to be here. So that's cool. But
Anonymous,
yeah, cool. We'll try and keep it that way. Although if you keep handing out to the people, 8-fold wrestling accumulators and parlays that come in at kind of 5 and 6 to 1, then it's going to be hard to keep you anonymous.
Is that a pseudonym then, Rob? In the bottom next to your net picture.
yeah.
Rob Starling is not your name at all, right? Because that'd be just silly.
Yeah, that is true, isn't it?
Go and change it.
I don't even know what website I'm on, if I'm honest. This is all new to me.
Look, we've upgraded. So when we did the wrestling shows back in April, March, whenever WrestleMania was, and we did a couple, didn't we? We were still on the old Microsoft Teams chat and calls and recording and downloading it and ripping the audio out. So we've progressed. Good Teams with Great Teams Cover has come on a long way since then.
Hey, real quick. Don't want to just jump in, but did y'all watch Money in the Bank yesterday and see that John Cena said WrestleMania could be coming to London in the next few years?
I don't think it could be. I think it will be once they open up that Pandora's box. It's
you can't shut it now. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if John Cena says it, it's happening.
Yeah.
I love a tease if it's not going to happen eventually, but you'd think that it would happen eventually. It has to, really, doesn't it?
I think it'd be in Saudi Arabia before London, but
That's
oh, come on! Just because the money's there, London deserves
just
it
because
more.
the money's there. Yeah,
I know, right?
Exact answer, yeah.
Well, there is a very, very appropriate 90,000 seater stadium there in London that can certainly hold the event. And there was just one yesterday. I've just been in London for the weekend. I wasn't there for Money in the Bank. I was there for a different reason, but there was just wrestling fans everywhere yesterday in London and today. And my voice is a little bit hoarse. I was at a concert in London yesterday, so hopefully you guys can do a bit of the carrying for me, because my voice is definitely going to go at some point during this draft. And Omar, just back on your point, shout out to Dan for setting all this up at Let's Talk Sports. We're live on the Let's Talk Sport YouTube channel, live on the Good Teams and Great Teams cover Twitter page. Go give Dan and his channel a follow. You can find over 200 different sort of sports, wrestling, pop culture shows on there. Whether it's gambling you're into, fantasy you're into, across all the sports, or just the sports themselves, there's plenty of great content there for you to enjoy. Let's move into draft. And so to give it some context, it was just something that I thought that it might be good to explore and discuss. But the full title that I came up with was the Minor Inconveniences / Insignificant Things that happen in life that piss you off way more than they should. It's hard to fit that into a graphic, so we're just going to call it the Minor Inconveniences draft. We've got 5 of us. It's a snake draft format, so we'll go around 4 rounds between the 5 of us, so 20 picks. We're going to go. Omar's going to go first. Scott, Rob, Byron, me, and we'll work it back around. So, Omar, you're on the clock. The first there's a lot of pressure. Omar's been sweating about this all afternoon. There's a lot.
Afternoon, since I found out yesterday, gentlemen, I thought we were having a Raiders show. So let me just let that be first known. And then I came to find out late last night, early this morning, your time, from Paul, that it was a Minor Inconveniences show. And I totally was like, I've got to be on there, first of all, because it's going to be hilarious. But also, what am I going to do? So I racked my brain all night. What should be the first pick? Because there's some things that don't apply to me that I know apply to the rest of the world. And I'll explain that later on when we get more into the show. So I polled my boys. I did everything. It's very, very tough. All right. This is what I have chosen for number 1, just because it specifically applies to anyone, I assume. ATM fees. Why do I have to pay money to get my own money out? You are holding my money. I don't understand. Why am I paying you? You're already making interest off of it. What is happening? Someone talk to me.
Yeah, it was high up on my list as well. I will actively walk if I need. Obviously, now as we're moving on, obviously you don't necessarily need cash as much, but certainly, a few years ago when you were regularly having to withdraw money, I would go walk to another one. I would go walk to find one that I don't have to pay to draw my own money.
This is where cultural differences are going to be very important, because I'm
right.
not 100% sure where Omar and Scott are in the US, but I will tell you, Paul, if you plan on walking to another ATM, you better have good boots on, man, because you won't find an ATM unless you're going to your specific bank, teller. Every ATM charges you here. It's not like a unique thing that only... the rip-off ones at service stations and concerts charge you. If you're not, I'm with Chase. If I don't go to a Chase bank, I'm paying. So, selection and range is not your friend in the US. You are fucked if you do not go to the right bank. And it's percentage or a set amount as well. They really bang you in this side of the pond for it. It's bad in the UK, but it's so much worse here.
So what's the fee then? Because I don't know. So what would be the standard sort of fee?
Minimum $3.
I want Scott to hit on this too, but real quick, let me explain to you why I chose this, my dilemma. So I live downtown. I'm in a very unique experience. My bank used to be on 12th Avenue, and I live on 2nd. So I would have to go 2 miles to get to a bank just to get free cash out. If not, if I went to the liquor store across the street, or if I went to the bodega or the Dollar General downstairs, I'm paying $5 to $7 just to take money out. That's just the fee. And I don't know what Scott is experiencing, but it's ridiculous.
So in 99% of banks in Massachusetts, the fee is like $4.25 to go to another bank and take money out. If you go to Las Vegas, it's like $7.95 to take money out. And your bank is not in Las Vegas. Your bank is only where you live. So to me, or they just built a casino in the last 3 years. That's $6.95 to take anything out of there. So yeah, you get hit really hard with fees.
And don't let your bank double charge you, because my bank used to charge me on top $2 of taking it out of a bank that wasn't theirs. So now you get the 2 fee.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's crazy. It used to be $1.75. Now it's up to like $3.95, $4.25. It's crazy.
Yeah, that is ridiculous. That's a racket in itself, isn't it? Right. Yeah, I think pretty popular. Anyone else have that relatively high up on their board?
It speaks to how cashless I am. I didn't even think of it, but it's fucking annoying as hell.
I got
cashless nowadays that I never.
I'm with you though. Like, I don't usually go to the ATM. I try not to. I try to use the card all the time. But I pulled my chat, and one of my best friends, shout out Clutch, he came up with that, and I was like, why did I not think of that? I have this all the time. So shout out Brandon.
Right.
Yeah. Pretty solid number 1 overall pick, I think. There, yeah, sure, cool, good stuff. Omar, thanks very much. Get us off to a hot start. Scott, we'll move across to you. You've got the number 2 overall pick. What is it? What's that thing that really, really pisses you off from a minor inconvenience?
I work in a grocery store, and within the last year or two, companies have downsized the ounces in a product and have raised the price more and more. It's like it's gone from take orange juice. It's gone from 59 ounces to 52 ounces. It's gone from $3.99 to $4.79. So to me, why are you downsizing your product and raising your prices almost $1 in almost every product that you find in the supermarket now? Things have gotten smaller, and you're paying more money for what you're not getting. So that's my first round pick, is that.
Byron's succinctly put that is shrinkflation on the graphic.
Shrinkflation. I didn't think of that, but that's a good one.
For when we put it up, yeah. Paying more for less, never fun. Number 2 overall, what do we think, guys?
Well, that one applies across the pond as well. I've been feeling that.
Rob, I don't know what's happened to your microphone, but you sound like you're underwater.
When I pay to go on a site submersible.
There we go. Sorry, you were saying.
I said I feel that one across the pond as well.
Yeah.
Whereas the ATM thing, I was just like, yeah.
But yeah, shrinkflation, as we'll call it.
Shrinkflation has hit the United States in a big, big way. So.
Big way. I'll tell you the first time I experienced this, I went and bought a bag of chips from the store, which I rarely ever do. But I happened to be a little hungry while I stopped by the store, so I grabbed a bag of chips. And I was like, all right, I paid, $2 for the bag of chips, whatever. Get home, open it up, and there's all air. And it's like 5 individual chips. And I'm like, did I really just pay like 20 cents a chip?
Yep. Basically, yeah.
I mean, in New York, though, you got to pay for that clean air too, though. So. Take what you get.
The chips / crisps for us.
Yeah, the crisps. Right.
is an interesting one. That specific one was on my list. I got the train back from London today. I got myself some snacks for the train. Don't know if you've ever heard of a popular snack we have over here called mini cheddars. Is there an equivalent, Byron?
Kind of like Ritz crackers, but much better. Mini cheddars are much more snackable than a cracker.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, it's supposed to be like a grab bag. It's like a bigger than standard size bag. And I swear there was less mini cheddars in that than there is in the small bag of mini cheddars. Just a bigger bag with nothing in it. Yeah, so I felt that one today. But yeah, cool. I like that one. Shrinkflation we'll go for. Cool, good stuff. Rob, let's keep this thing rolling. Number 3 overall, your first pick.
Storage. I feel like I'm being asked on a daily basis to buy some kind of online storage that I didn't know I needed. I don't think I do one. And then my email inbox was informing me last week that it was full, apparently because I had like 70,000 emails that I hadn't deleted since 2014. But I don't care. Like, why can't they just delete after a certain time? Why am I having to buy storage? I don't want to. So I had to sit there last week and sort of manually delete emails from the past 10 years that I literally had no interest in whatsoever, just to avoid paying this like £2 a month. Like, why?
Could get you
God,
8 mini
serious
cheddars, that.
question. I did not see that one coming. But your number one pick is, as a direct result of you just not managing your email inbox, is what?
Why do I have to
Yes.
manage my email inbox? Why is it even a thing?
Why should you have
Why
should you have a free email forever? Storage ain't cheap.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and claim to understand the internet, but it feels like it's pretty big. All right. So why? Like, my phone asks me to buy storage every day because I've filled my cloud. Right.
Yep.
I don't want to pay for a bigger cloud. All right. What's going on?
My cloud is just fine. I don't need a bigger cloud.
I don't want a bigger cloud. I don't even.
I don't want. No, I agree with you.
I prefer it sunny.
All right.
I did
have
run
to
into
say-
the same problem.
No,
too.
go ahead, Scott. Yeah, go ahead.
I
Scott.
did run into the same problem too about a month ago when it said your storage iCloud is full. You need to purchase more space for $7.99. I'm like, I'll just get rid of what's in the cloud that I don't want. I'm not paying $7.99 for a new cloud.
Yeah,
I've had to buy external storage, right?
Yeah.
To avoid all of these various different cons, as far as I could work out, right? Now I've just got this black thing laying in my living room, just there in case I ever need it, right? My external storage.
Oh, okay.
It's just ridiculous.
So
Thanks for
you bought
clarifying
yourself
what
a
the
hard
black thing
drive,
was.
is what you've done.
I think so.
I think that hard drive maybe needs checking.
I like it.
Okay.
You're like the convenience of the cloud, so I'm gonna burden myself with a physical hard drive I carry around. Next year, in 2024, Minor Inconveniences draft, Rob's 101 is going to be this annoyingly big in hard drive I carry around every day, so I have access to all my
Well,
things.
if I ever fill that shit, right, we can make another episode.
Look forward.
But it's got some TBs, so I think that's okay.
Cool, right. So the just struggle for storage. I
have to add to this though, gentlemen. So Google has been getting at me for a while to get more space, and that I understand because I teach and I have to put all my files in Google Drive, so it's taken up a bunch of the space, and they want me to expand. Fine, I've been deleting stuff along the way just to stay under the limit every day. But the ones that piss me off the most are the ones that you never asked for the storage. So, for instance, somehow Dropbox and somehow Microsoft OneDrive both attached themselves to my laptops at some point in time and started downloading my files, even though I never asked for it. And then they want me to pay for the storage. And I'm like, how did you even get my files in the first place?
See, it's annoying. See, universal.
I agree. It's annoying. I was notified the other day by Apple that they were just putting up the price of mine on. So I think it was like 70p or something, or 79p. So
that's how they get you.
It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
We'll move on. We've got one of our other previous guests watching along, Alan Perales, fellow Cowboy fan.
Alan?
Welcome back, Alan.
Alan.
Nice to have you watching. I'd be interested to hear what your first pick would be, Alan, as well. Pop that in the comments. So we're on to Byron. We're on to you, number 4.
Yeah, staying in the online realm, I guess. When you try to log into a website you don't use too often, and you put your password in and it says, nope, not the right password. So you try a slight variant on it and it says, no, you're still not right. And you're like, fuck, this is annoying as shit. I'll reset the password. I'll just pick my own password. I know what I'm doing. And then you put your password in and it says, password currently in use. Please select a new password. Well, if it was in fucking use, I would have logged in.
Yeah.
Very
I'm with you on that one. Very, very irritating given the massive different things that you need. And may only need once every so often as well. And that's
password duplication, so to speak, is something that is just off the rails inconvenient for me. I mean, I go through with me and my wife's emails every time. It's like, you've already used that password. Choose another one. Okay, so you choose another one. Oh, by the way, you can't choose that one. That one's already in use by somebody else. It's like, okay, what do you want me to use? And then they give you like 5 different things, and it's about as long as it is in your bedroom. It's about 120 words long.
And Microsoft have started rolling something out recently. This isn't really for me, but like part of my job is I help our consultants set up their emails when needed. And Microsoft have now just started saying, no, that password is just too common. You can't use it. It's like, these people need to remember the password also. Like, let's not, like,
right.
you know, and I don't even know what they type because they're typing in their own password, but it's too common is becoming an issue for passwords. Which
is complex world now. This, you know, they're trying to protect you, Byron. They're trying to make sure your information stays safe.
I work in tech security. I'm absolutely fine with that. But if the password I put in is the current password, then log me fucking in. I don't have an issue with reset my password every 90 days if I need to. I don't have a problem having a complicated password, a hyper secure password. But if I put the fucking right one in, log me fucking in. Like, that's all I'm asking here. Like, I'm not asking for moon on a stick. I understand security, but I've got a bit of high pitched here. I really am feeling
like
it.
This has really got you. Yeah.
It really annoys me.
You got to grind my gears and everything back there. I love it.
It is a minor inconvenience. But
here's another thing you get from these places. Your password's not strong enough. You need to choose a better password. What? Excuse me?
Who are you to decide?
It's not strong enough?
And there is some websites as well, just getting a little bit on it, where it says, it marks a red for shitty, orange for, yeah, it's okay, green for strong password. And then you use a strong password and it says you still haven't met the criteria. Well, you need to update your fucking color system because if it's strong, accept it. If it ain't, tell me it ain't good enough before I do the confirmation and then go back to this fucking starting point. There's a lot of foul language coming out here, but
it's okay. Yeah, again, this is going to be another one when I cut the audio for the Spotify where I have to put the explicit tag on that episode.
Too hot to handle on email passwords.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Kids don't know about this anyways. They don't need to be watching it anyways. They won't understand.
That's true.
Fair enough. Right, we'll move on to me. I'm the 5th overall pick. So I'll finish off round 1 and we'll have a recap. So mine's more, obviously, you've talked about, I suppose, the banks ripping you off, the supermarkets and groceries stores ripping you off. The tech companies, from a perspective, trying to get you to buy stuff. So all things, I suppose, by companies or things. My number 1 pick is a people behavior thing that really irritates me. And it's a minor inconvenience / one of those little things in life that pisses you off. When I hold the door open for somebody and they don't say thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my, that is just so... I don't know why. I shouldn't, but it just makes me so angry that people could be so rude. And yeah, just that you don't, not even, a thank you or a nod or some sort of acknowledgement. It's a polite thing to do, isn't it? And then, that one really, 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 really gets to me. And it shouldn't matter, right? It should have no impact on my day. It should have no impact but it just does really, really annoy me, and I hate that people can be so rude. So yeah, people not saying thank you when you're holding the door open for them is my first pick. What do you think of that before we move on to the start of the second round?
I just say you're welcome every time. I just say you're welcome.
Has anyone ever asked you to open the door for them, though, Paul?
And that's
wow.
You're expecting a thank you for someone that no one's asked you to fucking do, right? Yeah. This isn't the idea of charity and kindness, Paul, expecting something in return.
No, hold on. No, I'm with Paul because I open the door for people all the time, no matter what. Like, if I'm in front of you and I see you behind me, I'm automatically just going to open the door and I let you go just because I'm not usually in a rush anyways. But if I let you through and you don't thank me, I'm going to think some type of way about your morals and the way your parents raised you. That's all I'm saying.
I think that's absolutely fair. And I think Paul's rightly to be annoyed by it. But I think Rob touches on a real good point here.
Yeah.
The minor inconvenience, not being thankful for something isn't inconvenient. It's annoying. But you're doing a good deed to warm your own heart. Like doing a charitable act.
Okay, how about I let the door slam in your face? How's that minor inconvenience?
Well, that's inconvenient for them, sure. But like,
I really dislike the kind of people. Not saying it's you, Paul, but it sounds like it might be, that stand there holding the door open so that you have to rush.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that you have to pick up your pace a little bit more just because you're being a righteous fellow, right? Fuck off, leave me alone. Just let me get there in my own time. I can open a door.
Being like excessively early I get that, and that just makes a very
I'm guilty of that
situation. Yeah.
But what I like to do is I say, don't rush. Hold out the hand, say, don't rush. I'm going nowhere, and hold the door and be. Oh, I'm way too fucking friendly with that kind of thing because I hate being rushed. But I like holding the door for people because it warms my heart that I'm doing it, and I like to think I'm passing on good behavior to people. But I don't think it counts as I think you've got a run DMC here, Paul. I don't think this is a minor inconvenience.
Well,
because you're inconveniencing yourself.
Don't forget the long title: Minor Inconveniences / Insignificant Things.
Yeah, I'm still going with inconvenience. So.
Yeah,
it's a big title. Before we move into the second round, Alan suggested one his thing, which doesn't sound too minor based where he is, I guess. Is this going to pop up? No, if I broke it. Humidity, can't stand the muggy Oklahoma weather.
Yeah,
that sounds like a rather large inconvenience. Yeah,
I'm dying in the Midwest. I ain't going to Oklahoma.
Wait, is that not a thing you all have over there? Y'all don't have humidity?
To some degree, but not like here.
Oh, it's
yeah. Boston,
Oklahoma,
those places, completely humid, extremely humid.
So, England can be really rough because we don't have like the aircon life, the AC life is not a thing there because it's not as bad. But like it does get bad in the summer, some for like a week or two, sure. But like over here, it's like from June till fucking September. Like every day you have the AC on, just to be pleasant.
Yeah,
it sucks.
Cool. So we'll move into the second round. So it's my double pick, but just to go through what we've got so far. So for the first round, Omar with the number one pick, selected ATM fees. Scott picked shrinkflation, paid more for getting less. Rob, his cloud storage / email management issues. Another cloud storage being asked to pay for that. Byron's password resetting issues, where you then put in the password where it's telling you that that's the one when you're trying to reset it. And mine's bad manners, particularly when holding the door open, people not saying thank you. So this second one, so first pick of the second round, was high up on my list, but also I experienced it a lot this weekend. I've spent the weekend in our nation's capital in London, particularly busy weekend with a lot going on down there. Spent a lot of time on the tube, various other public transport, but people that try and get on before letting people off. Fucking hell.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Like, it's busy. People are clearly trying to get off. Let the people off first. Then you can get on. And everyone's going to be okay. Well, you rush on, and then people have to try and get past the people that are already on there, and you while you're coming on the bus, train, whatever. That one really, really, really irritates me. And that is very inconvenient.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's very London. I don't
think it's very
Boston
up north. It's very Boston, too. It happens all the time, every place I go.
Yeah, I'll always speak for the UK there, I guess. But like, I don't think you get it up north as much. But in London, fucking hell, they're terrible. It's like, you guys do this every day. How do you not get it?
Yeah, that one just massively irritates me.
I was going to say, I used to deal with that back when I lived in D.C. Like Scott knows, in the East Coast, you got to deal with that because we do trains a lot and buses a lot. I don't deal with it as much here in Nashville with less transportation issues, but I do live in an apartment building and with that's half apartment, half hotel. And so we have a bunch of tourists and they will do that exact thing on the elevator. And it will just, I'm like, can you wait? You see me? I got my bike. I'm trying to get off the elevator. You want to come on with your luggage. Now we're hitting each other. We're bumping into the walls. I don't know what to do. You're hitting me. I'm hating you. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's a rough one. It is a rough one for sure. And it's just one that no matter how many times it happens, still just winds me up so much. Right, Byron, we're back to you. I'll share the board on the screen now. It's getting a bit fuller. Byron, your second pick.
So this one, again, much more of an issue, I think, stateside than I remember it being in the UK. But receiving bills, especially medical bills, and don't get me started on medical bills, receiving bills, especially medical bills, that you can't pay online. They require you to send a check, to supply your credit card number and get a fucking stamp and resend it back to them. You can't go to the office most of the time and even pay it. You must do it via the mail. It's 2023. You can itemize bill me for everything that we had done that isn't covered by my insurance somehow. And I'm still paying 45 times for different things. But you insist that I send you a check in 2023 to pay this $32 convenience fee. Like, no, I will. I mean, I would do, because I'm not going to get fucked on my credit report for it. But god damn, is it stupid.
That is, I don't remember the last time I sent a check anywhere.
No, well, we don't even have a checkbook. We have to go to the bank and like get a check to send to the doctor's office to pay for something I would happily have paid for at the time, but they have to fight with the insurance. So you'll pay for what, and he'll do what, and yada yada. And like, knock on wood, me and my mom, my wife haven't even like major issues. Like, this is just like medical appointments, like checkups, and I banged my knee, I need to go and get checked up. Like, nothing like blood work, like no crazy high-end laboratory tests or surgeries or anything like that. This is just like routine living in your 30s, like just regular things. And it's such a ball ache for no reason.
That sounds a tough one. Omar, Scott, let's throw it over to you. I guess you may have some experience with this. Is Byron right to be drafting this high?
Yes, I've heard about this. Thank God I haven't had to do it with any of my bills, but I've definitely heard that the companies do not take phone payments. They do not take online. They don't take anything but send a check to us. We want the paper check in our hands. I've heard about that. It's completely stupid. Completely stupid.
Yeah, make it more difficult to pay. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Omar, go on, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say. I mean, I've heard about it. But if I ever encountered one, you can kiss my ass. You ain't getting paid until that shit comes to collections. I don't care. Sorry, that's your fault. You can wait. Yeah. Credit score ain't that important. I used to work in the financial industry. Credit score is a big lie, but
Oh, I need you to talk to my wife then, because she's. It was never a big deal to me. I didn't give two shits, but apparently it matters. So I'm always like, oh, we're getting paid.
If you want to buy a house, it matters, but that's about the only thing, really, honestly.
She's sick of this box we're living in with the grind my gears guy. So
with the grind my
right, yo. So Byron selection, no online payments, no reasonable way to pay. Clearly, in that scenario, Rob, onto your second pick.
Because real quick, no one like Byron said, no one has checks anymore, anyway. So, anyways,
yeah, it is. Yeah, that one is a wild one. Especially just an industry so big as well that you'd think would make it as easy as possible for you to make your payments so they can collect it all.
Don't you want to get paid, or do you want to not get paid?
Yeah, absolutely. Rob, you're up next with your second pick after your email debacle.
Well, you have to stay with me on this one a little bit, because initially it might sound ultra specific, but children's inability to use sellotape.
Sounds like you got yourself in a sticky situation.
Do you want to just provide? Or not, yeah. Do you want to provide a little bit of context as to why that is for you, given that people won't know what you do for a living?
I'm a primary school teacher, so the kids in my class are 6 and 7. Sellotape is an incredibly useful resource. I mean, if they could use sellotape, it would save me a hell of a lot of time when we do anything crafty. And I'm reluctant to ever plan a lesson like that, because I know even if I have 15 rolls of sellotape, it'll only be me in there that can do it. So I just find myself literally taking off like 3-inch bits and sticking them on the ends of tables, and they disappear as quickly as I can do them. But I understand that is very specific, so I'll just open it up and say, oh, it's really hard to find the end of sellotape, isn't it? Yeah, just so it doesn't sound as weird on the thing. But God, children, learn how to use sellotape.
Cool. I can imagine a classroom of 30 kids.
I have no clue what sellotape is, and I have no clue what kids are. So those two things do not make sense to me.
Okay, so pretty easy. Kids are those things that come out, whoop, and they grow over time. And sellotape is, I don't know what do we call it here, sticky tape? You know, like it's wrapping a gift. What tape do you put on there?
That's
Like
masking, kind of not masking tape,
tape?
kind of like clear Scotch tape. That's about
clear
what it
Scotch
is.
tape, essentially. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I have to abstain. I have no clue what we're talking about.
I don't have kids.
Somebody get
I
a
don't have
roll of
kids
Scotch
either,
tape.
so-
See how quickly you can find the end.
Yeah.
Then see how quickly a 6-year-old can find the end.
Yeah. So when it's just the thought of trying to teach 30 kids and arts and crafts. Absolutely not. Right, Scott, onto your second pick. So your shrinkflation was your first round pick. What have you got for us for your second round pick?
So when you're going to a family event and you go with a family member to the family event, and they say they're going to be there at 5:00 and it's 4:30 and you hear a beep of the horn like, I'm here, let's go. I'm like, it's not 5:00. It's not time yet. And they say, oh, we got to go now. We have to go now. And you're not ready to go. You're still getting dressed, getting ready to go. And they just force you to like throw on whatever you find first and go to a family event. That's a minor inconvenience and a pet peeve of mine when somebody shows up a half hour early and says to you, okay, we're going, let's go. And you're not ready yet. And you tell them and they don't want to hear any excuses. They want you to be ready 30 minutes before they tell you they're going to be there. So that's another inconvenience of mine.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. That is typically I would be a person that is working towards being ready for that time. So obviously I'm not ready a moment beforehand.
Right.
Yeah. Definitely on board with that one. What do we think to Scott's second round pick, guys?
Super annoying.
Yeah,
I'm very
hate
much
people who are early.
Yeah, if we're leaving at 5, I want to be ready at 5, out the door at 5. Like, I remember it was 2018, the year I moved to America. Sorry, I will try and keep this brief. I'm not going to go like the history of whatever. But I decided I'm going to come down to Leeds for live draft, our Fantasy Premier League draft, which we do every year. And I was like, I'm going to go because it's going to be the last year I'm in America. And it was also, I don't even know if it was actually, I just thought, fuck it, I'm going to do it. Because it was my friend's wedding the next day. And I was like, I probably shouldn't because I don't drive. So it was like, I'm going to have to get the earliest train in the world tomorrow morning, like 5 a.m. to get back. So that was fine. I had like an hour's sleep. Someone kindly gave me their bed for the night, so I didn't have to use the sofa, but I got like an hour of sleep because we were up enjoying ourselves too much. And then got the 5 a.m. train back to Carlisle, got like 2 hours sleep. My friend who was driving us to the airport, to the wedding, messaged me an hour before he was due to pick me up saying, hey, I'm outside. And I'm like, well, you're in for a wait, mate, because I haven't even had a shower yet. So what pressure are you putting on people here for no reason?
Yeah. Because they don't tell you, and Scott's part as well is very specific in his description. They don't tell you that the plan has changed and that they're.
They just show up.
They
just show up. It's like
absolutely. Yeah.
I don't have to deal with this very much because I live far away from family and friends, but on purpose. But the last time this happened to me was when I was back home in DC visiting, and it was the opposite of this. So I had plans with a friend to go to another friend's house for the evening and go hang out and drink whatever. But me and my dad were going out to this distillery first to go do like a whiskey tour. So I told him I'd be there at his house around 3 or 4. We could drive to a buddy's house. So we go to the distillery around 2. We have a good time. It's around 3 o'clock. And he's like, hey, are you ready to go? And I was like, well, I thought we said, by 4. And I'm right down the street from your house, but like I'm enjoying a good time with my pops. Like I'm going to chill here for a little bit. Oh, no, we need to go now, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, all right, well, let us finish up and so we finished up, got there 30 minutes early, got there, shot at my boy Brent. We get there and like, all right, let's go. Got my bags waiting outside. Oh, I'm not ready to go yet. I still got to go and throw on. You what do you mean? Well, you rushed me over here and you're not even ready? I could have stayed there and had a couple more drinks. What is wrong with you, son?
It happens. It happens more times to me than I can count on one hand. So,
yeah, that is particularly annoying one. I'm with you on that one, Scott. Right, we'll move on. We'll round out our second round. Omar, what have you got for us after getting us off to such a strong start with the ATM fees?
Yeah, I'm dipping into Scott's neighborhood, and I'm going to go into the retail grocery stores. specifically when you are going to the store for one specific thing and you get there and they are out of that specific thing you are going there for, and you have completely wasted your effing time.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, the trip when you've got nothing else to do. Yeah, that being definitely mildly irritating for sure. Well, what one thing are you going for, Omar?
Oh wow! Oh, I got the back-to-back. Oh, I forgot.
No, before we move on to the second pick, what's the one item that you're going for in it?
Got you. And this is funny. I don't drink much soda, but I drink ginger ale, and I love ginger ale. So I try to have ginger ale in stock all the time. So like I mentioned, there's a Dollar General downstairs at the bottom of my building, but I live downtown. So it's cleaned out like all the time because I live where a bunch of tourists are. So it's barely. So every time I go in there, I'm looking for ginger ale for either just to drink or for my whiskey or whatever. And I go and there's like none anywhere. And I'm like, I can't even get like a 20 ounce in the little cooler. Like I see you don't got the 2 liters. Can I get a 12 pack? That's mine. But like in general, just going down there, like wasting my time. And I'm like, all right, now I got to turn around and go all the way back for nothing.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, Scott, Byron, Rob, what do we think to Omar's second pick?
Yeah, especially here in the Boston area, since I know the COVID stuff happened 3 years ago, but ever since that, grocery stores have been less and less on items. So it's very frustrating when you go to a grocery store to go shop and a quarter of what you went for is not in the store, and they said we're not planning on getting it for like 3 or 4 days. So it's really annoying to me.
I always hate as well, like, I don't think this is going to be specific enough to be taken later in the draft, but like kind of on the same note, it's like when a new item comes out as well, and you don't know when your store's going to have it. But it's like, I don't really want to wait till I get my weekly shop. So I'm going to nip in and see if they've got like, I don't know what it'd be, but like this new soda, and then you get there and they don't have it. And you're like, well, now do I buy something else I don't really want? Very annoying.
You walk out and protest is what I do.
It's generally my move, but I always feel real sus walking in a suit, any kind of store, and then walking out without buying anything because, like,
yeah, then they're like, "What's this guy doing?"
Yeah, what is this? Security.
Luckily, I'm a big English white guy. I'm not going to get profiled at least or shot, but I still feel sus about it.
Yeah, cool, good stuff. Then, Omar. Well, before you kick off round 3 for us, a recap of round 2. I started us off with people pushing to get on public transport before letting other people off. Byron was bills with no ability to pay online or a convenient way to pay. Rob was kids' inability to use sellotape. Scott's the early pickup for an event, people just rocking up early to come get you when you're not ready. And then Omar, the one specific item in the store that you're going for, and they don't have it. Omar, kick us off with round 3.
Round 3, gentlemen, I have a few to choose from so I'm going to go with the one that I just recently had to deal with. But when you are completely ready to go to sleep, you lie in bed, and then you got to pee, or you forgot your phone on the couch, or you forgot to turn the light off, or what the fuck ever happens after you have already laid under your damn covers, and now you have to get up.
Yeah. Got comfortable, you're just ready to drop off, and then it's usually me needing to go pee. Yeah, need to go take a piss. That is really, really irritating. And then I end up waiting and trying to fight it and be like, no, it's okay. I'm not going to. I don't need to. I'll be fine. And then you still inevitably just get up and go anyway.
The worst for me with that is, and this was on my list, did you lock the door? I even build in like a little routine of like, my wife always goes to bed before me, and like, before I go to bed, I always take the dog out, come back up, lock the door when I come in, and then before I go to bed, like, is take the dishes or whatever, go and make sure the kitchen's okay, check the stove. We haven't used the stove in hours. Check the stove. If it's been on for all those time, we would know. But check the stove, check the fridge is closed, check the freezer's closed, check the door is locked, go to bed. Sit in bed. Did I lock the door? And it's like, well, yeah, of course I locked it. What if I didn't? What if this is the one night
What if I
breaks the
didn't?
apartment, opens the door? Never mind the fact I get robbed. I'm also going to look like a fool.
That'll look good on the police report. That happens to me sometimes, but I wake up in the middle of the night going, "Have you locked the door?" It's like no, like I've obviously I have locked the door. I never don't lock the door, but yeah, like I just be it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I just like wake up, bolt upright, going, "Did I lock the door?" Yeah, it's awful. That doesn't happen very often, but when it does,
I can completely relate to Omar's. Yeah, and getting into bed tired and then not being able to fall asleep as well. Yeah, but
Yeah.
Byron, I mean, we're verging on OCD. Maybe I'm
he's
finding
OCD.
it hard to relate to the routine.
Yeah, it's very OCD. I fully acknowledge.
Very OCD.
Spoiler alert, and kind of a precursor. Well, another thing I was going to tag onto it is what used to be really bad. So like now we live in an apartment. It's not as bad because like someone needs a key to get into the building. But like back when I lived by myself in a different, like just a flat by itself, not in a building, was like I would set off to work and I would honestly get like, I used to walk to work 45 minutes, 50 minutes ish. And I would get 10 minutes to my work and then I'd have to go back and check I left the door. But like related to my OCD thing now isn't so much, but like
I get robbed at that point. I ain't walking all the way back.
Yeah, it used to drive me nuts. And I'd always lock the door. I've
It
never
would take ages as well, because presumably when you walk back home, you can't step on any of the cracks as well.
That's one thing I'm not bad with, but yeah, generally it's really annoying. And like, I mean, what could go if it was major inconveniences? My fucking brain would be up there, like 101. But yeah, I would recommend to try and avoid these things is don't wake and bake before work. Because then you'll get 10 minutes into your journey and go like, did I lock the door? Did I put that joint down? Who knows? But yeah, that's
joint burning my carpet. I don't know.
Yeah. But that's kind of where this routine came from, because I'd like go to bed high and then I would be like, oh, I probably didn't lock the door. I better go up and check. So I developed a routine to make sure I did everything before bed. And then I don't smoke anymore, but like the routine has stayed, but my paranoia has stayed also. So great.
Well, as a smoker, I appreciate your routine and your paranoia.
Yeah, I don't mind the routine so much.
Yeah, kids don't do drugs. This is what happens to you.
Yeah, we fucked up solitaire.
Yeah, you should work on that. So my dad's got, because you speak about the routine, we have moved off the topic of the bit, but my dad's got a really weird routine whenever I go see him. So if I go see him and then like we're going out somewhere, it must take him like 10 minutes to get out of the door, because he will lock the door, open it, think, oh, have I left the oven on? He's not used the oven for days, but have I left the oven on?
Yeah.
Comes back, locks the door again. Oh, have I left the bathroom light on? He must do that like half a dozen times for different things. Like, yeah. I have no idea what it is. And his isn't, marijuana related, paranoia, but not that I know of anyway. Yeah,
bring him on.
Yeah, it's
an intervention for Daddy Redmond.
yeah, that's what but it's not a recent thing as well, which is quite worrying. It's been like that for a long time, but yeah, certainly like the pick. Yeah, Omar kicks us off with round 3 there. Scott, your third pick.
So this is to the ATM thing that Omar talked about in the first round, but you're standing behind somebody in the ATM, and they stand there and they put one card in and get their money out and look at their receipt and put it in their pocket, and then they take a second card out and slide that in from their other account and stand there for like 3 or 4 minutes and look at their receipt and start to figure out while you got about 5 or 6 people standing in the back of them wanting to use the ATM. And they just keep standing there. And then like 5 minutes later, they turn around and say, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know anybody was in back of me. It's like, ma'am or sir, people want to use the ATM. You got a line going down the street and around the corner. And you're just standing there looking at your receipt and trying to figure things out in your mind it just drives me crazy when people do that. And I run into that 1 or 2 times. That's happened. Yeah. It's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It's inconvenient too. Because you want to get in and get out and get in your car and go, or you're in your car in a drive-through ATM waiting, and they're just sitting there doing the same exact thing as when they stand there. So,
feels we need to explain to the Brits that there's drive-through ATMs here.
Yeah.
Not a lazy country. We just won't get out of our car to even get money.
Yeah, I didn't realise there was going to be as much cash machine chat, really. The only issue I've ever had with cash machines is not being able to find one that did fivers.
Yeah, we're in a whole new world here, bro.
Those were the student days.
It happens. I've been in Las Vegas. It's happened there. I live in Boston. It happens here. I've gone to New York. Any place. The same thing happens over and over again. It's just inconvenient. And then you say, excuse me, we'd like to. Well, they just keep standing there and look. It's like they're spiting you doing this. It's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
You'll quite often find yourself in a queue and wonder why it's taken the person in front of you so long, because in your head it's only a 20-30 second job.
Yep.
So why is this person, so any queue, why are you taking 5 minutes to do a 30-second job? I can relate to that one.
Yeah,
right.
We've done a bizarro draft of like minor victories that make you majorly proud. Getting to an ATM at the same time as someone and beating them in my fictional race would be top of the list. So being held up really annoys me because there's no need for it.
Yeah, it's a very easy transaction, or it should be very easy transaction, and yeah.
And especially in the online age, you can check all these little fucking things you're checking on your receipt beforehand.
Yeah, that's right.
Somebody uses a cash machine just to get like a printed balance. Like who's
Yeah.
You used to use them.
That's what these things are for. People to check your stuff. That's what laptops are for, to check your stuff, and they still don't do it. They just wait till they get to the bank. Like it's going to change or it's going to be different. It's like it's no different than when it's on your phone. So,
absolutely, I'm with you on that one for sure. We're going at good pace. I like it. We're gonna hit kind of where we're the sweet spot where we want to be for this episode, which is good. So, Rob, hit us up then. Let's see what have you got for us. I'm real interested after you because your two picks were just very much out of left field. So I'm very interested to see what you've got for us.
Sorry, Paul. I didn't realise our picks had to be door related.
I'm going to mix it up after. No more
doors. Using super glue.
Sorry,
I just have to interject real quick, gentlemen. I just had one minor inconvenience pop up, and I hope that this does not take from anyone, but I must talk about this right now. So I had to use the bathroom. So I was running up to the bar that's right above the floor I'm on so I could go use the bathroom. Well, when I got up to run away, the headphone cord caught my foot, and I literally slammed face first onto the ground. So, minor inconvenience, headphone cords which make you trip and fall on your face. Thank God no one was looking.
How did we not get that on camera? Oh.
Omar's a professional. He'll recreate it for us. Don't worry.
The clip.
Oh, I could.
We could have had for the show there, just from that. Are you okay, Omar?
I'm okay. My pride is a little hurt. There's a security camera, so I hope the security people weren't watching.
From that, yeah.
Drop them along.
Get the security video. We'll post it on YouTube.
The security video for us, and we'll clip
it'll be on YouTube tonight. So
yeah, we'll just clip it into the moment where it should have been while we're talking. So glad that you're okay, Omar. Rob, hit us up with your third pick.
Well, I don't know whether this borders onto major inconvenience for me, really, but obviously you don't really know me that well, some of you, but I'm not a massive fan of hard labor, menial jobs, anything where I have to sort of sweat in any way. So weeding, right? Weeds, right? I'm fed up of these horrible fucking spiky, ugly looking plants growing in my garden, me weeding them and then them coming back like 7 minutes later, right? And then I have to repeat the process. It's absolutely ridiculous. I just want a pile of concrete in my back garden. Why? Weeding.
Yeah. What you need to do is eradicate them, though. You can't just keep pulling them.
Get some spray down. You should. I've done that.
That's a racket. The spray does not work.
You need a good one.
No, it doesn't.
It's ridiculous out there. It's like I live in Nottingham, England, and it's just like the rainforest is growing in the suburbs of Nottingham.
Well, I mean, they do call it Nottingham Forest, so.
I don't think he doesn't live in Sherwood Forest, though.
Sherwood Forest wasn't technically a forest; it was more of a royal hunting area. But we're getting off the point.
Sorry, Omar, you were.
No, I was just gonna say this is why I'm against home ownership and why I rent apartment buildings. I don't have a garden to worry about. I don't have to mow a lawn. I don't get a weed shit. If something breaks, I call somebody and they come fix it. No, this is why I'm against home ownership. Rent, young people.
I'm not entirely sure. The concrete is the answer, though, as well. Rob, you've been to mine. I've got just like a little yard bit, and that's full of them. And
yeah, they're horrible things.
Yeah, once every 6 months, have to just go rip it all out. Get the spray that I've got. Spray. I don't know why I bother doing it because it does not work. And then by the end of the week, they're already coming back through. That is bad. But I just don't do it enough. I wait till it gets out of control and then resolve it, which is bad. You should do that with your problems, kids. Right, yo.
A lot of kids watching this today, you think, right?
Maybe. Who knows? This could. I mean, it's not a show that's tagged for the young uns because of the abhorrent, foul, and abusive language that we all use. But I mean, they can still watch it, right?
Got to learn sometime.
Absolutely, yeah. Some real good life lessons being handed out here on Good Teams Win Great Teams cover this week. So yeah, we'll crack on then. Are we back to me? Oh no, we're not. We are on to Byron.
It's me, right?
Yes.
Yeah. A bit of an unusual one, maybe, considering what we've done so far. But everyone likes to cook, right? That's a thing people enjoy doing. You like to look up a recipe online, and before you can see that recipe, you get someone's life fucking story. Like, oh, how do I make this quiche? Well, first I'm going to tell you about my pops who died in World War II. Please don't. I just want to know how many fucking eggs I need. Super fucking annoying. And there is little hints. You can go to justarecipe.com and paste the URL in, and it'll just give you the recipe. I don't need that many fucking steps. Just give me the fucking recipe in the first place. And you can also, little tip, if you're a cooking online person like me, you can scroll down to where the recipe is and click print recipe, and it comes all on one page. And that's a handy thing. That should be just what the fucking default is. If I wanted to hire you to read me a fucking story, I would go to a story website.
Yeah.
I would like a recipe.
I feel the story should be the option, not the recipe itself. Yeah. I get that a lot. Yeah, it's an unnecessarily long web page. But you also have to read it. You also have to try and work out where you need to start paying attention from as well.
Yeah. Dad died with 2 eggs in his hand. And speaking of which, no, just fucking tell me how many eggs I need immediately. It's not always egg related, but
it's always egg related. Yeah. Actually, that wasn't on my list, but I'm with you on that one. That one's abhorrent. Guys, what do you think to the online life story recipe?
I agree. You get a life story from everybody. Well, this is what I would do when I'm cooking this. This is how I would do it. It's like, just give me the stuff. Let me go. That's it. I don't need to hear what's going on in your life and how you cook it and how you would cook it. I'm going to cook it my own way. That's it. So,
yeah.
I got to say, I love Scott. Is that Eddie Kingston up there in Boston? Is that who that is? Or is that Scott? Scott reminds me a lot of Eddie Kingston. I like it. He's one of my favorites. I don't cook very much, gentlemen. So I do more of the microwave 5-year-old toddler kind of diet, like eat out sort of thing. I don't really like to cook, but there are times when I cooked, and I know what you're talking about. You get to the page, and the lady's like, "Oh, my great grandmother back in 1865 used to boil her potatoes like this, and then she died when she was trying to churn some butter, and this is the way you should churn your butter."
Cool. A pretty popular pick there, Byron, I think. Cool. Right. I will round out our third round. So I'll make my final 2 picks. I've got a load left. I prepped way too many for this. But probably one, again, just because it's the most recent thing that happened, because this happened yesterday. But also every other one of these events I've been to for the last probably 5 years now. I went to a concert yesterday down in London. Very good. I went to see Pulp yesterday. If you've not heard or listened to Pulp before, go and listen to Pulp. great kind of Brit-pop band from Sheffield here in England in the early 90s. Fantastic band. I went to see Pulp yesterday, and it didn't happen as much at that gig because of, I suppose, probably the demographic of the crowd, a little bit older, probably like mid-30s, early, mid-30s to 40s based on when they were popular. But at other gigs, concerts, and it'll happen at sporting events as well, people will be there and then record the entire goddamn thing on their fucking phone. And I'm watching the show that I've paid to come and see through your fucking phone. It is, it really, really pisses me off. And I will stop swearing now. But yeah, it irritates me. And it didn't happen too much yesterday, apart from like, it happened during like their most popular song. And all of a sudden, everywhere you could see, everybody's got a mobile phone out recording it. And I'm trying to watch it through thousands and thousands of mobile phones. It's been waved in the air. That one is particularly irritating. It might be the one that possibly pisses me off the most, but I kind of figured I might get it a bit later on in the draft. Happens at I go to a lot of football games or soccer, if you will. And I go watch Manchester United, which attracts, a lot of different kinds of soccer fans, football fans. Yeah, and they will sit there for the entire 90 minutes and record the game on their phone instead of watching it. There's not a shortage of being able to go rewatch that football game on television. No. Like, you can absolutely watch. And in any sport, you can find and go watch the highlights of the game or go watch the whole goddamn game. Yeah. Why do you need to record it from your viewpoint? Anyway, that particular irritates me. It annoys me more at sports because it has, I think, a knock-on effect in terms of the atmosphere because people aren't actually paying attention. They're too busy recording the fucking thing on their phone. Yeah, so that's one that really, really irks me because it has a direct, especially in the gigs, it has a direct impact on my enjoyment of it because I can't see it. I'm 6'2", I'm quite tall, I can see over most things, but somebody waving a mobile phone above their head, no.
And everyone's doing it.
Yeah, so many people.
Especially like you say, like big songs, like, it's just all the common people just all get the phones out at the same time.
And that's the thing, like, that's me too, right? Like, I don't like to rip my phone out at events. Like, if I'm trying to experience something I like to experience, I'll take a couple pictures, but I'm not trying to take video of this. I'm trying to experience it live. But if you got me at a concert and it's the biggest show I've seen and it's their last song and I know it's their big song, I'm going to want to record a little bit of it because it's not coming on TV like a sports game would. So aside from the last song in a concert, I completely agree with you. But the last song, you would find me being that annoying person.
And I think this is only a last 10 to 15 year type of thing. I think when back in the late 90s, early 2000s, you never saw this stuff. Now all of a sudden with the rage of iPhones and all that other stuff, this is what you see. Everybody wants to record everything on their phone instead of leaving it in your pocket or whatever and just enjoying the show. Because everybody else around you wants to enjoy the show too. So
yeah, and you're there because there's a shared
interest
and commonality of that band or music, for example. But yeah, the whole thing about just kind of enjoying the moment for what it is and just being fully immersed in it, I think just gets taken away when you have that happen.
And especially like you said, sporting events, like it blows my mind. You see some of like the greatest footballing moments, and there's people with a phone in their hand. Yeah. And it's like, I don't want to be like gatekeeping like the limbs community type thing of like everyone should be going absolutely crazy and hugging each other. I enjoy things how you want to enjoy them to a degree, but man, it ruins the aesthetic of it as someone like who's looking at it after the event. But even in the real time when you look around, like, Carlisle's not Old Trafford, but like you catch someone like they're not even like, it's like, why are you here? Like, this is what you've lived, like this is why you're here. And I don't know, like makes me laugh a little more than like ruins it, but it's like I'm so confused by you.
I have a great example of this, y'all. So last year my dad came out to visit. We went to the Titans-Raiders game. The Raiders came into town and we bought front row tickets. Like, it was great. They're lined up on the goal line. I'm like, I'm going to film this Raiders touchdown. I'm like, he's going to throw it to Devontae Adams. It's going to be great. And so I whip my phone out and like, yeah. And my dad looks at me and he's just like Scott. My dad's like, And it mixes Scott and Paul. First of all, he's like, what the fuck are you doing? Second of all, he's like, you can watch it on TV later if they score, right? He's like, what happens if you don't score? You just filmed an errant down? He's like, what are you doing? Put the phone down. I was like, you know what? You're right.
I like that it said errant down.
I couldn't think of a better word, and I don't know what he said, but he curses a lot, so it was probably like, whatever.
And there's a bit as well that makes it, and I get, it's from your perspective because where you sat, right? But what makes you think that you've got you're going to record that better than the NFL Network or Match of the Day or Sky Sports or whoever's, whatever's covering the game? What makes you think you're going to do a better job of capturing that moment than the actual TV companies? Yeah.
Well, here, not only that, here it is. It's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be someplace on the internet. You don't have the video. You don't have to tape it with your phone. You can just watch it on the internet. It's going to be there forever. So, put your phone away. Don't take it out to video so everybody else around you can enjoy it, because you can go home and watch it on the internet someplace. So
yeah. So that was mine.
How do you feel, Paul, about people lighting up their phones at sporting venues? When they all put their torch on at the same time and they wave them around and
that
everyone's having a lovely time. How do you feel about that?
Where does that happen? Is that, I'm trying to think where I've seen
I
that.
still break out my old school lighter because I'm a smoker, so I still bring out the lighter. And
Yeah.
I've seen it happen at football a few times recently.
I've seen it too on TV when I've been watching a game. I see people, a group, especially if there's a halftime show or something. They ask them to take their phones up and light up the stadium with their flashlights on their phones.
Like when we went to the cricket at Headingley last year, like we're at Headingley, and people being asked to light up their phones at the cricket match.
I was in the middle of the afternoon in August, wasn't it, as well?
Yeah.
still bright and sunny outside.
But yeah, I've seen it a couple of times at Oldham as well. You'd be surprised to hear that actually people don't film at Oldham as much as what you probably experience at Old Trafford. But
yeah,
I have seen people light up their phones at Boundary Park once or twice.
What's the benefit of that? Like at concerts, I can understand like the kind of choreographic or the like swaying with your lighter. Like it can go with the music if it's swaying. Like I've seen Taylor Swift a few times. Shout out Swifties, and you're like your phones, but at the same time to provide like a choreographic visual effect. I can, it's a show. I've never seen this at the football. What are people doing it at the football for? Or the cricket? That is new to me, and that is mind-blowing.
The cricket was particularly hilarious because, like Paul said, it's an August afternoon. It's not dark. And they then had to delay the start of play because they weren't allowed to play cricket while people had lights on in the crowd.
Which kind of makes sense, but like...
So they were like, could you please turn your lights off now? You've had your 30 seconds done. Please let's go back to the serious.
Like if it was a night in Yorkshire, I could understand. It's probably just Yorkshire trying to save some money on streetlights. But during daytime hours, very confusing. Very confusing.
All right, we're about to go to my last bit. I'm stalling a bit because I've got so many that I want to pick them. We'll have an honourable mention.
Are we doing 4 or 5 rounds?
4, yeah, just 4.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, we can always give a bonus round to the people. I got some extras.
We've got some. We can do honourable mentions at the end as well because there's loads that I've got on my list. I don't want to talk about them all, but so yeah, I'm gonna have a quick stall for my last pick. But while I'm doing that, just go over what came through in the third round. Omar started us off with being comfy in bed, and then somewhere you need to get up, whether go for take a leak, lock the door, something like that. But something that ruins that comfort position you've got yourself into. Scott was the ATM slow user, so people getting like multiple cards, just taking forever at the ATM when there's a queue of people behind them. Just a lack of awareness. Rob was the garden weeding. Just hates doing that, and that's just enough in itself, and it's just a horrible thing. Byron was the life story that comes with online recipes, and mine is the concert/sporting events, people recording, just sat on their mobile phones throughout. Before we start our final round, Alan chipped in with one. Parking when he comes home from work. Come on to his apartment. There'd be no open parking spots. He'd have to walk to the other park and walk on the other side. Yeah, that would be annoying. You feel you should just have like designated ones, or there is like even like an unwritten etiquette of this is just where I park. This is where you park. But yeah, apparently not. Cool. So mine is. I've got 2. They're both. I'm just trying to weigh up which one it is. So I've got a supermarket-based one and an airplane-based one.
Is it to do with the airplane door, or
Oh, I'll tell you, I'm going to go with the aeroplane one. So it is.
I want the airplane. Let's go.
So the traveling one. So it's people's, because of what it causes, inability to use the overhead storage correctly on a plane. And so they will put small items up there that should go under the seat in front of them, which will then lead to somebody who should be putting their bag up there, not being able to put it up there, then having to go down the plane, find a space for it, and then it just causes a kerfuffle at the end when that person at the front has to try and come to the back to get the bag to then get off the plane. It is just irritating. People travel often enough. They should know how to use the overhead storage properly. It is ridiculous, and something that just massively irritates me. On every single flight that I take, I feel angry just talking about it.
Yeah, it happens to me too. It definitely happens to me. I think this happened to everybody at one point or another, but it is, somebody that's not even close to that area. You almost want to get fully made, bro.
Yeah, it's always caused by the people that get on the flight early as well. I particularly like getting on the flight as late as it's about to close the door because I don't want to sit on that plane for any longer than is necessary. But yeah, so it's always caused by the people who get on early and then just don't follow. Just it's very simple, small things under the chair in front of you, bigger things.
People putting fucking jackets up there.
Yeah, I do put my jacket.
It's you. You're the problem.
So you see, I usually check my bag. We go away together. We go for 2 weeks. We take a big suitcase, so we check them. 9 times out of 10, I'll just put my rucksack up there or something. But if you open this up to airplanes and traveling in general, then it's a whole new fucking 20 rounds of picking. Because we just recently got back from Greece. And when I was booking my flights, you had all the usual things. They're trying to charge you for shit food. No, I'm not interested. They're trying to charge you to pick a seat so you can sit together. No, I don't care. I can happily not sit with my wife for 4 hours and save £15.
Some would pay more for their privilege.
But a new one, don't say that. A new one, this time was you could pay an extra £4.99 to reserve some overhead locker space. So I was just like, how many more things can you think of to charge us for? I wasn't going to put anything in.
What? No way. They're really charging for overhead bin space now?
So I wasn't going to put anything up there. I brought a suitcase. It's downstairs. But because I knew they were charging £4.99 to reserve space in those lockers, I purposely started putting stuff up there when I got home. I was like, this does fit under my bag. It's still going up there. Oh, I'm not going to read this magazine. That's going up there. Genuinely, what else can you charge for? £4.99 to put a bag in a locker that is available for bags. I just...
And magazine.
Which airline was that?
That was the budget holiday airline, Jet2.
Shout out Jet2.
Jet2, that sounds like a low-budget JetBlue. What is that?
It was a
It's like a low-class Spirit.
Oh, you don't want a low-class Spirit. The Spirit is already low-class.
No free ads.
Not for JetBlue or Spirit.
I try to get around this as best as possible. I have sleep apnea. So with sleep apnea, they allow you to carry a bigger bag carry-on for your machine. So I just put everything in there. And I stick it under my seat. And if it doesn't fit in there, then I have a backpack. And, if I have to take up a bin, I try to take one in the front. So at least that way I'm taking up first class and not the regular people. And I did that last plane ride. So there was no space. And I was like, you're not taking both of my bags. I was like, I have a backpack. I have my sleep apnea machine with all my other valuables. Both of them are staying here. Ain't nothing going. And so I walked on the plane. I had them both on me, and I put one up in first class where I saw an open space, and the airline lady, the attendant, was like, hey, what are you doing? I just kept walking like I didn't hear her, and I just kept going to the back. She didn't touch it. When I got off, I was like, hey, thank you very much. I handed her a $10 bill. I was like, I appreciate you not doing anything about it. She was very happy, and it worked out.
Nice. Okay. Done right. Yeah. Cool. Let's move on. We're down the home stretch now. We're into our final round. Byron, finish your draft off. So you've got the password issues. New password ends up being the same as the old one. Bills with no online payment option. Life story with a recipe. What's your final pick?
Reading them out in an order, I'm very online, I guess. And just to finish up, I'm going to stay online because it's 2023. We're all very familiar with virtual calls at this point in our lives. We all know how they work. We're all very familiar with them. I'm just going to put as a general blanket bad virtual call etiquette. I shouldn't have to tell you more than once in a call that you're on mute when you're trying to speak. I shouldn't have to tell you that you're background noise. That shouldn't be on me to fucking manage you. You should know where you are. And this isn't a shout out to our Detroit Lions fan from last week.
I was about to say.
It wasn't a personal attack.
He was a great guest.
Yeah, good guy. Very knowledgeable. His audio sucked, but that happens. Like, it's not a call out to him. I'm on virtual calls every day of the week with work, family back home, good teams win, great teams covering. Every day I'm on a virtual call of some kind. And I'd say 50% of them have some kind of etiquette issue. It's like it's 2023. Since COVID in 2020, these have become very the norm in my world, certainly. And in the world of the people I'm interacting with, there's very few where it's the first time they've had a Zoom call or a Teams call. And like, why am I having to tell you twice that you need to unmute yourself to speak? This isn't the first time you've been told this. It's not the first time this week for some people. Why am I having to tell you, hey, can you mute when you're not speaking because you're sat in a Turkish internet cafe while trying to do an FPL draft, Luke? Like, any of these things can happen. Shout out, Luke.
I wasn't expecting Jackson to get a mention in this podcast.
Well, it's only because I was telling Cindy about this subject last night. I was like, oh my God, the first time I remember it being a thing, and this was way before virtual calls were as common, to be fair. Luke Jackson, one of our draft fantasy Premier League players. I mean, we've done these drafts over 10 years now. And yeah, we were doing it virtually, and Luke was in Turkey, I think on his honeymoon, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I don't think it was like a family holiday. Yeah.
Family holiday, yeah. And yeah, he sat there, looked like a music video with his big headphones on, like I'm wearing in a Turkish internet cafe, as it turns out. And the background noise was insane. And we all thought, oh, it must be everybody. Luke finally muted, and it was absolutely silent for everybody. And it just sprung to mind as one of the funniest examples we've had. And it just, grinds my gears.
I've got like one with this. So I work for quite a big TV company here in the UK. And I'll be fine. So the particular person that I was dealing with for a bit, so I was looking to like move to a different part of the company, get another job, just trying not to burn any bridges here as well. I'm thinking about this. Not that anybody will see that. But yeah, he would have his kids like with him while he's on like a call, like so you'd be on video talking to him, and then you just pick up his kid and have like a kid sat on his knee. And young kids obviously don't know what's really going on, and to start making a racket. And then I had a job interview with this person, and during the job interview over Teams remotely, the kids were in the room. He wasn't listening to me.
Yeah, it doesn't give the impression he's been taking it seriously.
Like, what the fuck? What are you doing?
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You're with your kids all day. They really don't need to be involved in the meetings that you're in. Now, I teach virtually, so unfortunately I have to deal with a lot of these things, and I've gotten used to them over the time, so I'm kind of numb to them at this point. But yeah, if you're trying to speak to me and you're asking me a question and your kid is like slapping your face and making a bunch of screaming noises, how about you just wait till they're done and then come back to me and ask a question?
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. Or when you're on mute and you're just sitting there like on a Zoom on other programs that I've been on, and they keep talking and they stop talking and you're just sitting there staring at them, and they're like, why? And then you just stick your hands over your ears and you're like, the guy comes on and says, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, crap, I'm sorry. You didn't know you were on mute? People are just sitting there staring at you and not responding. It's just like, okay. So.
Yeah, no, it's like I say at this point, kind of, after 3 solid years of it, yeah. Sure, we should just be a basic standard, a minimum standard of
etiquette.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I like that one. I can relate to that one, Byron, for sure. I'm sure we all can now. Rob, we're back to you. So finish off your board for us.
Well, I didn't do much prep for this, but I actually do have a few left over, so I was a little bit umming and ahhing then. But a driving one. So bear with me on this one. People who follow the laws of the road really fucking really annoying. Right. When you're on the motorway, you're trying to get somewhere quickly. You're trying to get back to Manchester for an Oldham Athletic game because who wants to miss out on that shit, right? You're in the fast lane. You're doing, a reasonable speed. The limit's 70. You're doing 75, 80, right? Because you want to get there quickly. You're not doing anything crazy. You're not going to get in any trouble. You're just pushing it a little bit, right? The people who slow down for the cameras, right, every sort of 2 or 3 miles, right, they slow down to 68 miles per hour in the fast lane because they've seen a speed camera. And I'm just behind them, having to come to almost what feels like a full stop, just shouting through the windscreen at them. It's an average speed camera, you dick. That annoys me.
Fair. I think
especially if you're in the fast lane on a highway or wherever, and it says a fast lane, you can go fast, and they say, "Oh, they must be watching me. I better slow down to go to the speed limit."
It's an average speed camera.
Yep.
Like, you do know that doing the right speed when you go past that particular camera has no, if you want to follow the rules, just follow the rules over there, right? If you want to be a little bit of a rebel, let's just keep going.
Thought as the first one, I thought there might have been a couple more driving ones in the driving. There might be. I guess we've still got some picks to go. But I was surprised it took that long for a driving one to come on the board. But yeah, I can see that. Well, yeah, that'll be one that's again pretty popular, pretty common.
Similar to traveling, it's a can of worms, isn't it? If you open it up, there's quite a few driving ones. But
there's a whole thing
that's my niche one.
Yeah, that could just be drafts on their own with this, which would have kept us, in content all summer, I guess. But we've got to mix it up. Cool. Thanks. Finish us off, Rob. You're done. We're down to the last 2 picks. Scott, finish us off. You've got shrinkflation, the early pickup, and the ATM slow users. What's your 4th and final pick for the?
So I'm going the driving. I'm going the driving route as well. So up here in Boston in the winter times, we get a lot of snow, and when the snow starts and it's just flurrying, and everybody goes from 65 on the highway down to 35, and just keeps going slow, and you're like, it's only flurrying outside. It's not doing anything else. People, as soon as they see the first snowflake come down, it's like they got to slow down and they forget how to drive. It's just like, I got to slow down. I'm going to get in an accident. Well, the road's not wet. It's not icy. It's not anything. It's just a flurry. You people can go normal speed, but no, in Boston area here where I live, they slow down to 35 miles per hour on the highway, and they just, every snowflake they see, brakes go on the highway. It drives me absolutely crazy sometimes that people do that.
Yeah. People, they're just kind of forgetting how to drive in any sort of inclement weather.
Yeah.
Is definitely one, yeah. And again, another one driving one that I thought would have been put up earlier on. But yeah, good value is your last pick, Scott, there, I think.
Yep.
A lot of good value in the last round with the driving. I don't drive, so that's why I didn't pick anything. I live downtown, and I sold my car because I don't need it. But one of my buddies did say traffic in general, and he just wants that to be on here. Just traffic in general. He's like, no, y'all need to have traffic on there. So I don't deal with it anymore, but I have before. And in DC, you get 4 hours of traffic, and you're sitting there on a Friday night like, why can't I get home from work?
Yep.
And why is it 7 o'clock at night? I also understand in Nashville, Tennessee, again, I don't drive, but I ride with people. And once it starts raining out here, these people act like they've never seen rain before. And they go like 20 miles on the highway. It's like, come on, dude. Plus, I love it because I don't know that y'all call it motorways or motor screens. And those are 2 things I've never heard in my whole entire life. So thank you.
Yeah, highway, motorway, he's here, yeah. So it's
freeway,
we're all learning
motorway.
as well. We're all learning and growing with some cultural differences here as well, which is good.
My wife kind of on the drive. I don't drive like Omar, but my wife wanted to, when I was talking through my list, was construction. Because
why are you doing construction in the middle of the day?
Here in Illinois, we have 2 seasons: winter and construction.
Construction.
It's a nightmare. Like it's just every road is fucking get construction from April through bloody October. It is a nightmare. But
it's always at like 6 o'clock in the morning to 4 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
It's never like 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. when it should be.
Yep.
And it's bad because when you want to avoid the traffic, you say, I'm going to go the back way to get home. And road construction sitting right there. You're like, oh, God. So, yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. So when you were talking this pick, so you were starting, Scott, you were talking about the snow. And this is something I've heard a few times. Didn't realize it would ever be the case.
Yeah.
Never come down to Oklahoma. I didn't think a place that far south would get snow. Why is it particularly bad for snow in Oklahoma?
Because they don't get it.
Because they don't get it's like
Atlanta,
Georgia. They don't get snow when they get an inch and a half. The whole state closes down basically because they're not used to snow.
It's like seeing a leprechaun. Yeah.
If you look at Texas, the last couple of winters, like their grid has gone down because they can't cope with because they don't have any infrastructure in place for it.
Yeah.
So when they get some, here in Illinois, Wisconsin, we get 10 inches. It's like, all righty, no problem, off to work.
That's right. Yeah.
If you see snow coming in Oklahoma and they see it, it's like them seeing cows falling from the sky. It's like something they've never seen. They're just going to stop and they're not going to drive.
I mean, I do have an honorable mention, and it's this: if you go into a grocery store, when everybody hears the word snow in the forecast, all the bread's gone, all the milk's gone,
water, toilet paper,
everything, and people just rush in and buy everything.
Yeah.
And Omar's just say, like, where the hell's my ginger ale gone?
I'm just wondering. I'm wondering, first of all, how many shits are you going to take in a week that you need that much toilet paper, especially after COVID? But yes, why are you taking my ginger ale? How much whiskey you drinking? Leave one for me.
But here's the thing: all the milk goes. Well, if the power goes up, milk's going to be useless to you because it's not going to stay cold.
So outside, it's snowy.
Yeah.
Like the apocalypse buying that people do, that'd have been a good pick. That, to be fair.
Before we go too far in honourable mentions, though, we do have Omar's pick to go.
Yes, so we have got Omar's final pick, so we'll do that, and then we'll get into the honourable mentions. I should probably,
gentlemen, I got to do a first world problem for everybody, and this has happened to all of us, that are lucky enough to have internet. But why is it that when I'm, in a perfectly good internet area, and I'm watching a YouTube video, it wants to buffer on me every 5 seconds, and I can't watch it, and then I got to turn it off or reset my phone because I think it's my fucking phone, but then it turns out it's not my phone, and the internet is perfectly fine, so I don't know why it's not. Someone help me.
Well, the good thing is the commercial will play just fine.
Yeah.
The video will not, but the commercial is
the ad will be just fine.
HD, 3D, 480k, absolutely fine. Video, 8 seconds, no chance.
Nothing. Would you like to watch that ad again? No, I would not. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I think obviously in this world as we are, obviously, this is going out on, and we'll be up there on YouTube. Yeah, that one, the buffering of the videos of anything, any sort of stream, anything you have to stream, is annoying. I spent the day, Scott, Omar, I don't know if you're too familiar with the sport of cricket, but there's a pretty big test series going on here in England right now. England are currently playing Australia. And I was at the end of a very exciting game today. I was trying to watch it on the train, live on my phone, and what just a farce it was to be able to get the connection to watch it live. Trying for 2.5 hours straight. But I absolutely hate that. Like, especially the capabilities that we have, it should never happen.
Now, I don't want to get arrested.
Well, hang on a second.
Wait a minute.
What videos are you trying to watch?
What do you think cricket is?
I was just trying to stream money Money in the Bank on a European site last night, and it just would not play for me. And I'm like, the internet is full. What do we do? And then I finally found out it wanted me to go off of incognito into a regular browser. And I'm like, why do you care that much? Like, but I do realize they are spam sites that are probably trying to play some kind of thing on my browser. So.
I see. I mean, just so we know, we absolutely get all of their wrestling content through the appropriate channels.
Yes.
Exclusive live on
too.
BT Sport here in the UK. Yeah.
I sent a check to Vince McMahon himself.
My best friend's a TV producer. I just count that as me working with him.
That's fair. Okay. Cool. We've finished off the draft. We'll go through some honourable mentions and then we need to pick our winner. So we'll do that in a second. Guys, you've got on the right-hand side of your StreamYard that we're using, there's a private chat. So when I give the word, pop in the name of the person that you are voting for to win. I will do a recap. So take this time to have a think. And then if we need to, we might need to split a tie as well. But let's have a look then. So just a quick recap then of the draft. Omar went ATM fees, the one item you go for at the store and they don't have, comfy in bed and need to get out, and buffering videos. Scott went shrinkflation, so having to pay more now for less, early pickup, ATM slow users, and then snow drivers when it's not that bad. So how people just stop driving normally in inclement weather. Rob being harassed for payment for storage in the cloud. Kids using inability to use sellotape, weed in the garden, and excessively safe drivers that slow him down. Byron went with the resetting the password, and you put in the same password as it was. Bills with online payment, recipe with a life story, and virtual call / meetings etiquette, or lack of it. I went, people don't say thank you when you hold the door open for them. People who try and get on public transport before letting people off. People recording live events, music events, and sporting events through their phones, and overhead storage fills. So, yeah, people who can't use overhead storage on planes properly. Right, let's find our winner then. So when you are ready, chaps, if you've had a final peruse of the board, pop in the name of the person who you believe has won, and we'll tot up the votes. I've gone. Oh, so it is Byron. You're on a hot streak in these drafts. Byron, you've won again with 2 votes. Scott, Rob, and Omar all got 1. Why am I?
Wow, Paul.
I know. I used to address this problem because every draft goes like this.
Thanks for hosting, though. I really appreciate it. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you for opening this door for us.
They're the ones who've been inconvenienced, really.
So there were some honourable mentions. Let's run through those. Who's got any particular burning honourable mentions they'd like to share?
May I start, gentlemen?
Yeah, and I've already said mine. So
when you're on the couch and you can't find the damn remote. It happened to me last night. I was pissed off for like 3 hours. Couldn't find the remote. And it was down in between the couch and like my ottoman where I put my
Yeah. That was on my list as well.
Yeah, I've said the one with this first bit of any word of snow, they go in the grocery stores and raid everything. That was my honorable mention.
The panic buyers, yeah. Rob, Byron, any yours?
I've got a few, but you go ahead, Rob.
I had a couple of things I like. I'm trying to buy a house at the minute, and that's an absolute pain. But I decided that's a major.
Yeah, that's
a little major.
Also, like when you move and you have to tell everybody that you've moved, even down to the optician, so you can still see. And the other thing which I thought you might judge me a little bit, I put cleaning the shower.
Yeah,
should just be
clean, shouldn't it?
It only has soap and water in it. Like, how the fuck does it get so dirty?
It should.
Why am I spending 20 minutes on my hands and knees? Cleaning the shower.
And then you go clean the shower. Yeah. Okay.
Why don't you clean the shower while you're in the shower?
Yeah. But it is.
Why does it get dirty?
It should be a self-cleaning thing. Yeah.
It should be a self-cleaning thing. Yeah.
No, I agree. No, I completely. I never
like the butthole.
There you go. So we did that. Rob snuck in when you described how much snow you get in Illinois. Rob made a very inappropriate joke that just kind of went under the.
I didn't hear it. About me getting 10 inches, I guess.
Yes. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. Didn't hear it, but certainly appreciate it. I think that was my first 6 months in Illinois and Wisconsin was doing that. So not getting 10 inches. I wish. Oof. Chance would be a fine thing. A fine thing indeed.
Cool. Byron, what are your honourable mentions then?
So I've got a few, so I'll rattle through them pretty quickly. People calling you unexpectedly, whether that's a Teams call, like I say, I do tech support, so please just send me a message and let me know what the issue is before you just call me randomly, because I'm going to assume the worst. And telephone calls, just send me a text or a message and we can organise a time to chat on the phone. It's 2023. We don't just rely on phone calls anymore. Please don't just call me out of the blue. I hate it. Online ordering from physical stores. I do a lot of online ordering. If even my groceries, we go and pick them up and online before. We got used to the COVID lifestyle. I used to love walking around the grocery stores. Now I hate it. Now I hate people. I don't like doing it. But like you go to a part and you filter out, because you have to do it in store. Is it in the store? And then, yep, this is in store. I'm like, sweet, let's get it. And you click on it, it says available only for shipping. Well, get it off the fucking filter then, because it isn't available for in-store pickup. And I don't want to pay $8 to have it shipped here. It's not that important. It's just a tube of Pringles. I don't know what it is, but it's annoying. This is very hyper-specific to fantasy football/sports nerds, well, NFL specifically. When I Google player X, PFR, because I want to see their Pro Football Reference page, but I accidentally spelled something in that 3-word sentence wrong, and they bring me up players PFF page, Pro Football Focus's page. But I never use Pro Football Focus. I'm sure it's a very good website. A lot of podcasts I listen to use it. I don't have a subscription to it. I just want to see their PFR page. I only ever want to see their PFR page. Stop redirecting me to PFF and then making me retype PFR. Oh, very annoying. Even though
how many people does that happen to? Because I've never
just Byron. I think
never had that happen.
That might be hyper specific, but I Google PFR. I love stats. I'm a little nerd, and I always use Pro Football Reference because they are the best. Shout out Pro Football Reference.
I like Pro Football Focus. Pro Football Focus is great to me. I get the daily emails. I like them.
It's a great site. I just don't use it.
Algorithm sort of like nailed, covered, Annie. Collinsworth's got that covered.
Yep. I only have 2 more. No, I own three more. Sorry. People in group chats or group email chains asking for information that is readily available and already confirmed. If you're asking to confirm a time that hasn't been confirmed, fair enough. We have a Dynasty FPL league, fantasy football, but it's Premier League and it's Dynasty. And there's a very thorough rule document. Paul's well aware of it. And certain people in the chat will repeatedly ask the same questions every year that are covered in the rules document. Like, is this X? When is the playoff start? It's in the same document it's always been in. Why? If I have the time to go and open the document and check that it's in the rules document, you have the time to go and fucking read the rules document.
That's right.
Yeah, that's definitely me in our Dynasty.
You are not who I had in mind.
But I definitely do that, yeah.
There was worse offenders than you. So that wasn't a personal attack at you. I didn't even think of you. And I would tell you if it was. But yeah, your time is no more valuable than mine. If I have time to look, you have the time to look. And I get annoyed because I wrote the document. So, like, I know it's covered, but I need to go and double check to make sure it is. And the last 2, one is hyper-specific to the US. So Omar and Scott are probably going to agree with me. Rob and Paul are going to say, are you fucking serious? So you go to the grocery store, cool, Mountain Dew's on 2 for $4 this week. Cool, I'll get 2. And then you go to check out, it's actually 2 for $4.80, $4.12. I don't know exactly.
Or whatever, or it's not there.
Because the tax isn't applied at the price on purchase. It's applied when you go through the checkout. So nothing is the price it says it is. You have to keep a manual tax calculator in your fucking head to add up the tax as you go. And that's all well and good if you're a bougie person who travels on planes all the time like you guys. But, if you're living on a budget and you have $30 for your weekly shop, well, you're not getting shipped $30 in 2023. But, you've got how many dollars? I used to walk around Morrison's as a poor student, calculating to the penny everything I'm putting in my basket because I only have a small amount of money to spend this week. If I also had to add the tax on that,
so why is that? I'm aware that this is a thing, but why is it that way?
It's just been that way almost all for as long as that I've known. It's been that way. It just stays that way.
The same reason you have to do your own taxes and tell the government what you might owe them, because they just want to make it fucking difficult for you in this country. That's the answer. That's the answer. Like, that is the answer. There's no reason for it.
To move there.
Yeah, they didn't put this on the pamphlet. Let me tell you. And the last one, she can't hear me. When the wife says, you're in bed at night, you're about to get your winter 10 inches, and, you might doze off a little, and you get, are you asleep? And I'm like, well, I'm not now. What's up? I was just checking. Like, no need. Like, if you had a question, ask the question. Don't ask, are you asleep? Because that doesn't lead to anything. It's either yes or no. And if the answer is yes, let sleep in John's lie. I think that's an expression. There's no need for the "Are you asleep?"
Or you go upstairs. She sees you go upstairs, and she yells up, "Are you upstairs?" It's like, did you see me walk upstairs?
Yeah, I'm not Casper the fucking ghost.
Wow.
Also was not expecting a Casper the Friendly Ghost reference.
Wow.
In this episode.
We are.
Sorry, that was my honorable mentions. I rattled through them as quickly as I could.
Yeah, I've got loads, but I won't go through them all. So mine are probably the ones that I would have picked next are there's a couple of supermarket ones. So if people see each other in the supermarket and they will stop and have a conversation and block the entire aisle.
Yeah. For
everybody being able to walk past.
And then you make a perfectly pleasant thing of, hey, can I just squeeze past there? And it's like, you haven't walked into their living room.
You're the dickhead then, yeah.
Yeah.
Or then you just don't want to do that, so then you walk round.
Or...
He said you haven't walked into my living.
Or, like... come on, like, or you'll stand there hoping they'll finish their conversation in a minute if I just pretend I'm browsing something else a little further down the aisle, and then you've spent 12 fucking minutes looking at pestos, and you don't even want a fucking pesto. But at that point, you're kind of pot committed, so...
This next one, again, there's three supermarket ones I'm done, because I've got loads of other stuff, but this one was suggested to me, and actually it is really saying, when you see somebody at the supermarket that you know, so you might see them like early on in the supermarket, you might let on, whatever, and then you then see them multiple times walking around the supermarket, and then those interactions are really awkward. Do you let on again? Do you just ignore each other? What do you do?
The level of acquaintance really impacts that as well.
Yeah.
If it's one of your good friends, you can just kind of give them a nod the second time because I can't be arsed, mate. Like, I'm hungover, I don't want to talk to you. But if it's like a work colleague, I'll just do anything I can to avoid them. Not my current work colleagues. I love my current work team. We don't see them I don't go to the grocery stores nowadays. I'm thinking back to when I lived in England and I fucking hated a lot of the people I worked in an office with. And it was like the worst thing I could do on a weekend is see them. It's like, I'm high as balls trying to get around Tesco. Please don't make me want to kill myself.
I'm going to be a little less violent than Byron. If I saw my coworkers, I'd give them the second nod after the first interaction. But if you're my friend, I'd probably be drunk enough that we probably were together the night before, or we're probably high together, and I want to walk around the store with you. So if they're a really good friend, we're shopping together. If they're not, it's the one nod, and then if I see you again, we better ignore each other. If it's anybody else, like I know you as passing by, please don't talk to me anywhere you see me in the store, because I'm trying to ignore you the whole entire time. I'm trying to ignore you.
It's just unnecessarily awkward and not something I need to think about while I am going.
Right. I'm trying to shop and get in, get out. I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to.
Give me my fucking ginger ale and get out of my way.
Yeah.
Give me my fucking ginger ale. Give me my fucking cookies, my ice cream, and let me get the fuck out.
Sounds like a great evening. Ginger ale, cookies, and ice cream. And then
ice cream,
the other supermarket one, and I guess again the advent of self-checkout and stuff like this, and people do that shopping delivered and all that. But the old way of using the actual till and the conveyor belt, when the person in front of you doesn't put the divider on, so you can then put your shopping on, the conveyor belt, and then you have to kind of get in their way a bit because of where they stood to get it,
and they give you the look, like, why are you reaching across my groceries?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Because you're a prick. Like,
do it in a really passive-aggressive way to make it out like, why have you not done this?
Now, do you have in England, do you all have like the 10 items or less lanes?
We do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's so much anymore, but yeah.
That's where they don't put the divider down, usually the 10 items or less, because they figure,
and there's like someone comes in for
items, so they don't need the divider. Yeah, but your stuff comes with my stuff too. It's like, you know what? Put the divider in so that the cashier knows whose is what.
Yeah, it's not their job to organize our lives.
Yeah.
And I had a one that I didn't actually write down, but for this non-self checkout, regular checkout, I don't know what we call it nowadays. The interaction with the cashier is normally pretty good or normally okay, but I always think back to when I lived in England, the one time that made me like, I'm a self-checkout man forever now, and I was buying block of cheese, and it was Mexicana, extra hot, and she picked it up, scanned it, picked it up, looked at it, and went, "Is this hot?" And I'm just like, I fucking hope so. Like,
it says hot on it. It better.
It says Mexicana is a hot cheese by nature. It says extra hot. Like, if not, I'm bringing it back, lady. Like, What do
Yeah,
you
you
want
get
to do?
my
Just, you know,
refund if I
action?
bring this shit back.
We'll
If
get
I have
on
to
the
come all the way back to
conversation.
the store.
And I think that was the last time I used a checkout by choice.
Yeah, it's not what I usually do, but it's just it's just really it's just rude, and it's just like it's the complete lack of self-awareness and the impact it has on others, which was a bit of a theme of my picks. And then last but not least, this is a very personal one, an alcohol-related one, pub-related one, bar. Are any of you guys familiar? Any of you guys like a pint of Guinness every now and then? Yeah. When Guinness does not come in its glass, it has a glass that it comes in. It is a specific glass. It's in that glass.
Oh, is that the one with it has like the specific head on it that keeps?
Yeah, it's designed for the drink specifically. And I've just spent a weekend in London. I try and avoid drinking Guinness in London because there is a reputation, and there's even a Twitter account for it, Shit London Guinness, that for some reason in our capital city, despite the fact there are a lot of Irish people in that city, no bar or pub can keep or serve Guinness anywhere close to how it should be. And it has a massive effect on the actual drink. It has a glass. You have those glasses. Put it in its fucking glass.
Yeah, over here in America, they don't care about that shit. They just pour it in a regular glass, or they give it to you in the can with the little bottle in it or whatever. They don't give a fuck here.
Oh, the widget. It's so bad in the widget. Yeah.
The widget.
Yeah.
I do have a couple though. I'd like to add to this if possible.
One to go finish us off, Omar. We'll wrap up with your last two.
Okay, cool. Just a couple of forgetting to charge anything, gentlemen. So, namely, maybe your phone or wireless headphones. But I go to the gym a lot, and I forget to charge my headphones before I go, and then I have nothing but my phone, and then I'm blasting my music to the whole gym. That's one. Which there's no one at my gym, so it doesn't really matter. But anyways. How about when you're, a few bucks or a few cents away from free shipping, but you can't get that last item, or you don't want anything they have, or because they're smart, they charge you to the point where you'll go all the way to like 5 cents, and then anything else you do will be like $20 above that to get the free shipping. That's another one. And then my final one, and this goes along with Byron, because I'm a smoker. But when I walk into the next room to do anything and completely forgot what the fuck I walked in there for, and it was like 2 seconds before.
Yeah.
The last one happens a lot.
It's going to happen more and more as the years go on, I think. Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
I'm just like, why did I walk in the bathroom? Oh, to pee. That's right. Okay. Good.
And then the thing about it is you look around the room like it's going to come. You just look around. I know I came in here for something, but I don't remember.
I did that yesterday. I was like,
that's what I did.
And the way I often find myself as well, because I do it with my phone even now. It's like I'll open an app up, like I'll open Instagram because I'm wanting to check something. Like I've seen someone post something earlier and I want to double check on it or whatever. And I'll open Instagram, like I have no idea why I opened Instagram. So it's like, okay, well, where was I? Okay, well, I was on my email. Okay, let me go back to my email and see if I can refresh my. It's like, gee, I'm 37. I'm not 50 fucking 80.
We're fucked. This technology has fucked us. We are fucked.
Yeah. Mine's
I'd love to blame the technology. I'll blame technology to it.
To go with that, you sit at your laptop or computer, and you want to go someplace you can't remember, so you just start looking at the keyboard like, oh, if I figure the letters out, it'll come to me.
I've typed in the letters like A, B, and see what pops up, like autofill on the URL to see if I remember.
That's a dangerous game. Right.
Mine's
turning to mush. Gentlemen, we'll bring it to an end. Thank you ever so much for taking part in our minor inconveniences draft. Byron, congratulations on yet another draft win. You're rolling with these. Well done.
Cheers.
I'm going to get one. I'm going to get one someday.
He wins a lot of these, I take it?
Yeah.
He does. Okay.
Draft
I'm coming on with an aim from now on then.
Yeah. He just wins a lot of them. He's
Come at the king, you best not miss.
Absolutely. So thank you ever so much. Appreciate it. It's been a very special episode of Good Teams with Great Teams. Go follow Omar, Ball and Buds at MVP SMB. Go follow Scott, Ball and Bud sign. I like it. Go follow Scott, SJ Cobe 1. Go watch all the content, all the stuff on Let's Talk Sports as well, and Sideline Sports. And yeah, we'll catch you next time for another episode of Good Teams Win Great Teams.